Hey guys, thanks for watching. It's part 2 of our series. We're building this building today. We're going to be doing the roof. I got home from work and father-in-law already had most of the rafters on. We'll get the top sheathing on and then we'll try to get the T111 up this evening and see where we can get with it. Thanks for watching. Let's get with it. Hey guys, really thank you for watching part 2 of this build. So we got straight up there and started putting the last few rafters in, but we noticed right off that it's pretty shaky up on that without no sheathing on the building. So I put a few of them in that he hadn't got to yet, and the girls came out to sit with us and watch and talk to us. There's nothing wrong with mama and the babies coming out as a good audience. And then the brother-in-law came over, and sister-in-law, she's off camera with the wife and babies. And he came over to help because the father-in-law's back's still out. He's helping, but you know, can't do a whole lot with his back hurting. Don't want to overwork him. So I put the brother-in-law up on top, and we put in a few more rafters, and then we ended up deciding to go ahead and put some of the sheathing on, because when you're up on top like that, and to do the fly rafters out on the end for a 1 foot overhang, the building was pretty shaky even though we had it braced good. So that sheathing really stiffens the whole thing up, and you can square the walls up too using the sheathing. And then we come over and put our fly rafters on. Those actually hook to the gutter board and to the ridge beam. So we had to put our back gutter board on, which we used 2x4s for a gutter board. A lot of people use 1x, which is perfectly fine, but I just think the 2x makes it stronger out on that fly rafter than a 1x does. So after we got that in, I think we went back to putting sheathing on. If you noticed in the previous video, the previous clip, we'd already put the gutter board on the front side, and I forgot to mention that. Sorry guys. There's our last fly rafter. You can do all this by yourself, but a little help don't hurt anything. So as we're putting the sheathing on, each wall, when we put the first row on, put a nail in the bottom right hand corner, get it lined up where you want it, and then you can push the walls backwards or forwards in order to square the walls, because the sides of the sheathing are square. They're square from where they're manufactured. It's a square 4x8 sheet, so you can use it to square your walls. So here you see me. This is the next day. I drilled holes in all 4 corners of the door and used a level to mark them from hole to hole, and I cut my door out. I just set my skill saw, my DeWalt electric skill saw, just where it went just a little bit through the actual sheathing, and cut out the door. Took the sawzall and cut that 2x4 from where the door access was, where we framed the wall. We left it in, and I was just going to cut it out later. We ripped a piece in half to start a row on this side. It's 10 foot, so it takes 2 full sheets and a half sheet. So I'm going to start this side with a off-cut half sheet from the other side. I put a nail in the bottom right-hand corner, push the building left or right, whichever way you need to go to square it. And then once you pop the nails in it, it holds it square. And it really, really stiffens the building. That's where your structure comes from, is your sheathing. I didn't have no help yet. I got home a little early this day, and everybody else was still at work. They hadn't made it out to help, so I went ahead and put sheathing on until I ran out of nails, and had the brother-in-law stop and pick me up another box of nails for the nail gun, which really speeds up the process. That'd be one tool I would recommend you having if you're going to take this project on, is make sure you have a good framing nailer. You can't see me, but I put a sheet on the back side too. And this is the best tip I can give you. If you're doing 4x8 sheet siding on these, on a concrete slab, father-in-law had this idea: he'll drive a 16 penny nail between the concrete and the bottom 2x4 all the way across. And when you get the sheets up here, you can just set them up on them nails and it'll hold it there. Then you can square the frame, shoot it. Here's a look at it. Take you inside real quick. I cut the door out today. I still got to finish framing the windows and cutting them out. I will run some smaller center supports across the top, every other one up there. But it's coming out good. I don't know if you've seen it, it was a beautiful day out that day. Blue skies. So here I get to finish framing out the windows, 24 by 30 inch vinyl windows from Lowe's, just the ones they sell in stock. And put my lower board in, and then put my jack studs that goes under those. Drilled a hole in all four corners. Then I do the same thing, take the level and mark from hole to hole. And then I take my skill saw, and that way you get a good square cut. I tried using the Sawzall like I seen some guys do, but I just couldn't control that thing enough to make a good square cut. Sissy, Grace, what are you doing? Painting. You painting with sawdust? Then the brother-in-law showed up, and we started on the roof. We finished the back sheathing and started on the roof. We put our first couple sheets of OSB on. Finally, that price of that OSB's come back down. It ain't down what it used to be, but thank the Lord it came down to where it's at. On a 512 roof on a 10-foot wide structure, we come up having a full 4x8 sheet on the bottom and a 24-inch sheet on the top. It worked out perfect where we could rip a piece right in half. All right, guys. So, that was nice. We got the sheathing on the front side, and it turned out real good. We just have to trim off this edge and that front edge. We staggered our joints. That way they didn't match. Makes a stronger roof. And we're going to do the back side, but I won't video that because it's the same old thing. But when we get to putting the drip edge and tar paper and the shingles on, I'll video it again. Thanks for watching, guys. So here we got started putting the drip edge on. And when it comes to your drip edge, and if you look, the father-in-law, if you look closely, he's putting the windows in. We just use Lexol sealant, put it around the windows and stick them in and nail them in, and then we'll do our trim around them later. But me and the brother-in-law went to putting drip edge in. You start with your bottom, work your way up, always overlapping towards the bottom so water can run down. Water always runs down, just keep that in mind. And we went tar paper, start from the bottom, do the second row, go to the other side, do the first row and second row, and then you overlap the middle row onto both sides. And if you're going to have a vented ridge, you would cut out the center part. We worked well into the dark on this. We ended up using flashlights to put our first row of starter edge shingles on. You can see us turn the flashlights on here. But guys, I appreciate you watching part 2, and on the next part we'll be doing the shingles and the finish work.